Kitchen math and measuring, why it's so important. Okay, so we're going to watch this quick video. Here's why math is important.
I love all the flavor in the supersonic breakfast toaster.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like breakfast to the second power because it's got double meats on there, you know, double cheeses.
Yeah, I was never like good with food math.
How many sandwiches are you holding?
Please don't embarrass me.
Come on, man.
50?
50?
I don't know. 8? Supersonic breakfast toaster. New with Sonic. Sausage and bacon.
And 25% divided between the 5 of us. Yida, Crowbar, myself, Tom, and the baby. That makes 5% for each one of us.
Billy, you're cheating yourself. If there's 25% divided among the 5 of you, that's 14% apiece.
Oh, no, listen, Pa. I wouldn't cheat you. You know I wouldn't. Now, look here. I'll show you. Let me rub this out here. And now, 25 divided by 5 is 5. You see, 5 won't go into 2, will it? No. But 5 goes into 25 5 times, you see?
No, you're wrong, Billy. Now, I'm a pretty good mathematician. Now, 5 into 25, 5 won't go into 2, will it?
No.
But 5 goes into 5 once. Now, we didn't use the 2 before, so we bring it down here. Now, 5 into 20 goes 4 times. There you are. 5 into 25, 14.
No, look, Pa. Let me prove it to you now by multiplication. 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25.
Well, I'm surprised you're learning.
Huh?
I'm surprised that you're learning. Now I'll show you. 5 times 14 is 25. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 is 5. 25. That's it.
No, look, Ma. Look, you're wrong there because I'll prove it to you. We'll put down 5 14s here. 14. There. Now I'll prove to you by addition that 5 14s is not 25. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There you are. Better brush up, Billy. I don't want to see you boys cheated.
Math and facts. That's Family and Consumer Science class. Math and facts. Math is everywhere in Family and Consumer Science. You have consumer economics, which is like grocery shopping and getting a unit price on a product. You have math in clothing and textiles for measuring, cutting, knowing how much to buy, square foot. You have math in you doing financial preparation. You have math in food and nutrition. And what other things can you think of that math is in? Where Family Consumer Science is involved. Okay. So math and foods and food classes. So we see math in measurement, estimations, number sense, cost effectiveness, cost comparison of food, in making family food budgets, by conventional and common measurement systems, in vocabulary, and when we have to interpret graphs and tables. Most cooks use recipe. A recipe is a list of ingredients that gives you directions for preparing a specific food. If you know how to follow recipes, then you'll be successful in the kitchen. Who knows, you may become a famous chef. We've kind of went over this, but we're going to go over it again real quick. Introduction. Successful cooks should know how to read a recipe, know the abbreviations, know how to measure, know their equivalents, and how to change a recipe, like increase a recipe or decrease a recipe. What is a recipe? It's a formula. The recipe, you have to read the recipe before you cook. The parts of a recipe tell you the name, ingredients, equipment, directions, the yield, which is the number of servings, and sometimes nutritional analysis. When we are baking, recipe is considered and art, and you have to be very specific. You have to be very specific to get the right product to turn out. Okay, so we are going to skip this. And here's all the different parts of a recipe. And we had this in another area, so I'm going to go through that. What's an abbreviation and why do we use them? Abbreviation is a shortened form of a word. Why do we use them? It saves space on the cookbook page, and it makes recipes easier to read. So here's some common abbreviations. Teaspoon is TSP or small t. Tablespoon is capital TBSP or capital T. Cup is little c. Pint is PT. Quart is QT. Gallon is GAL. And ounce and fluid ounce is OZ or fluid ounce. And then there's pound, LB. Most other countries use the metric system. Milliliter is ML. Liter is capital L, gram is little g, kilogram is kg. And sometimes you'll use a recipe and you'll have to convert it from the metric to the English system. Here's more abbreviations that you might use. FG is few grains, dash, or pinch. Dozen is DOZ. Pound is LB. Inch is IN. Second, SEC. Minute is MIN, hour, HR, degree is the degree sign, and Fahrenheit and Celsius is an F or a C. Okay, so go through this and see if you know it. What two ingredients that you'd measure with when using solid or measuring spoons? So the right measuring utensil. What ingredients would you use using a dry or solid measuring cups? And what ingredients would you use in measuring spoons? You would use powdered dirt. You would use baking soda, baking powder, salt, vanilla, just little things that have little amounts. For dry solid measuring cups, you could use flour and sugar and peanut butter and shortening. Anything that needs to be packed in, brown sugar, confectionery sugar, anything that needs to be measured, that needs to be leveled off. And then when you have something like peanut butter and shortening, you use a spatula to make sure you get it out. Liquid measuring cup could be honey, milk, water, juice. So which measuring utensil would you use for this? 1 1/3 cup of flour. You would use 1 cup and then a 1/3 cup. 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. You would use 1 teaspoon and a 1/2 teaspoon. 2 different spoons. 1/2 cup milk. You'd use a 1 cup liquid measuring cup. 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. You would use 2 tablespoons. That's a measuring spoon. Measured liquid ingredients. Liquid ingredients can include water, milk, oil, juice, vanilla extract, etc. To measure 1 cup or more of a liquid ingredient, use a clear liquid measuring cup. Place the cup on a level surface and read measurements at eye level. Go down to it. Don't bring it up to you. For smaller amounts, you will use measuring spoons. Measuring dry ingredients. You're going to use a standard set of dry solid measuring cups. It's made up of 4 sizes. This would be a cup. This would be a 1/2 cup, a 1/3 a cup, and a 1/4 a cup. Dry ingredients can include flour, sugar, brown sugar, salt, and baking powder. To measure 1/4 cup or more dry ingredients, use a measuring cup. To measure less than a 1/4 cup, use measuring spoons. Okay, remember to measure 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's 1/4 of a teaspoon, and then you remove half, or remember it as a dash. You just put a dash of it in. Measuring dry ingredients, you do not pack the flour into the measuring cup or spoon because you'll end up with more flour. Instead, scoop your flour into the cup and level with a spatula or a knife. You want to make sure that you're scooping. If you're not scooping, you can end up with 25% more flour than what you really need. You also need to make sure that there are no voids, empty spaces in the cup. It needs to be completely full. Measuring brown sugar. Pack the brown sugar tightly into the measuring cup with the spoon. Once it is packed down, level it with a straight edge or a knife. Measuring granulated sugar. You can just fill the cup with sugar. You can just dip it in, or you can use a spoon. Level with the back of a straight edge or a knife so that sugar is even with the top of a measuring cup. And again, no voids, no chunks. Pass the cup. Dry solid measuring checkup. Which of these amounts is greater? Write the amount. 1/2 cup or 3/4 cup? 1/4 cup or 1/3 of a cup? 1/4 cup or 2 tablespoons? 1/2 cup or 1/4 a cup? 1/4 cup or 3 teaspoons? So I know that that has 12 tablespoons, and this has 8 tablespoons, so I know 3/4 is bigger. I know that this has 4 tablespoons, and this has 5 1/3 tablespoons, so this one is bigger. I know this has 4 tablespoons, and this is 2 tablespoons, so this is bigger. I know 1/2 a cup has 8 tablespoons, and this has 4, so this would be bigger. And I know that this is 4 tablespoons, and that is 3 teaspoons, so this one's bigger. 1 1/3 cup or 1 1/4 cup. I know the ones cross each other out, and 1/3 cup we know is bigger than 1/4 cup. Sticks of butter and margarine have measurement marks on the wrapper. Right there they are. 1 stick equals 1/2 cup or 8 tablespoons. So 2 sticks is what you'd need for 1 cup. Measure solid fats such as shortening or peanut butter in a dry measuring cup. Pack it into the cup and level it with a spatula. Then use a plastic scraper to remove it from the cup. Okay, so I already had you pretty much do these. So if you want to try again, practice at home. This chart shows some amounts that you'll often see in recipes, and it shows how to measure those amounts with a measuring spoon. So 1 tablespoon is 1 teaspoon plus 1 teaspoon plus 1 teaspoon. 3/4 of a teaspoon would be 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4, or 1/2 of a teaspoon and 1/4. 1/8 of a teaspoon is 1/2 of a 1/4, or a dash. And 1/8 of a cup is 2 tablespoons. Now remember, do not confuse your teaspoons with your tablespoons. In class today, we were doing the measuring lab, and a lot of kids did that. Equivalents are amounts that are equal to each other. They are useful when you must alter or change a recipe to serve more or less people than the recipe yields. So a pinch or a dash is less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. A tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. 1/3 cup is 5 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon. 1/2 cup, 8 tablespoons. 3/4 cup, 12 tablespoons. And 1 cup equals 16 tablespoons. Here's a way to help you remember. Remember, 1 tablespoon is equal to 3 teaspoons. And remember, there's 3 letters in T, T-E-A, so it's 3 teaspoons equal 1 tablespoon. 1/4 cup equals 4 tablespoons. Look at the 4 there and right there. Basic equivalents. 1 fluid ounce equals 2 tablespoons. 8 ounces equal a cup. 16 ounces equal a pound. 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 quart equals 2 pints, which equals 4 cups. And 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, which equals 8 pints, which equals 16 cups. Now we're going to try it. To help you remember, 2 cups equal a pint, 2 pints equal a quart, and 4 quarts equal a gallon. Make a big G. And then inside the G, you're going to put 4 queens, or 4 quarts. And remember, we did this in 6th grade. Then you're going to put 2 princesses in there. Okay? You're going to do that for each one. Then you're going to put 2 cups into each prince. And if you can envision this, then you can memorize your equivalents. At the store, many foods are sold by a pint or by the quart. Many recipes will ask you to measure those foods by the cup. Here's a helpful guide. 1 cup equals a half a pint. 2 cups equal a pint. 4 cups equal 2 pints. 4 cups equal a quart. And 4 quarts equal 1 gallon. Answer the following questions with these amounts. A half a pint, 1 pint, 1 quart. So a recipe for salad calls for 2 cups of cottage cheese. I know a half a pint is 1 cup, 1 pint is 2 cups, and 1 quart is 2 pints or 4 cups. So I would buy 1 pint of cottage cheese. A recipe for fruit dessert calls for 1 cup of whipping cream. I know that half a pint equals 1 cup, so I'd buy half a pint. You need 4 cups of milk for a pudding. I know that 2 pints equal 1 quart, and there's 4 cups in a quart, so I'm going to buy 1 quart. You need 2 cups of sour cream to make a dip. So I know that 1 pint equals 2 cups, so I would buy a pint. A recipe for fruit salad says to mix 8 ounces of yogurt with fruit. How much yogurt would I need to buy? 8 ounces. So that is 8 ounces equals 1 cup. So I would buy half a pint of yogurt. Now you know how many cups make up how many ounces are in these amounts. 1 cup equals 8 ounces. Half pint equals 8 ounces because it's the same as 1 cup. 1 pint equals 16 ounces. 1 quart equals, okay, so I know that 1 quart equals 4 cups. And I know that there are 8 ounces in a cup, so 8 times 4 is 32 ounces. I'm kind of giving you some time to do it, even though I'm kind of going fast. 1 gallon equals blank ounces. So I know 1 gallon, there's 16 cups in a gallon. And there's 8 ounces in a cup, so I take 16 times 8, and I'd get 128 ounces. Okay, here's a pop quiz. 1 pint equals how many cups? 1 gallon equals how many quarts? 1 quart equals how many cups? 1 cup equals how many tablespoons? 1 Okay, so 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. 1 quart equals 4 cups. 1 cup equals 16 tablespoons, and 1 tablespoon equals 3 teaspoons. Putting cups together, there's useful amounts to know. So 2/3 a cup, when we go to use our cooking measurements, we know that we have a 1/3 cup, but we don't have 2/3 of a cup. So you'd put 1/3 plus 1/3 cup, and that gives you 2/3. Most measuring cups do not have 3/4 a cup. So we'd put a half cup plus a fourth cup. An eighth a cup, you will take half of a fourth a cup, or because I'm so smart and I had Mrs. Straight's class, I would use 2 tablespoons. 1 cup equals a half cup plus a half cup if you do not have a 1 cup. Or you could use, if you only have a third of a cup because you've lost your half cup and your 1 cup, you could use 3 1/3 cups. Or you could use 4 1/4 cups if you lost everything but a 4th cup. So how would you measure these amounts? 1 1/4 cup, 2/3 of a cup, or 3/4 of a cup? So for me, to measure 1 1/4 cup, I would use 1 cup plus 1/4 cup. 2/3 cup, I would use a third of a cup plus a third of a cup. And 3/4, I would use a half of a cup and a fourth of a cup. I was always taught you should use the minimum amount of measuring utensils to measure something so that you have decreases your mistakes on accuracy.